本日は WebX2025 にお越しいただきまして誠にありがとうございます。これよりピッチステージを再開とさせていただきます。ここからのピッチはこちらになります。ブロックチェーン経済を再構築、ネロチェインのブロックスペース 2.0、Rewriting Blockchain Economics with Blockspace 2.0 NERO Chain。パネリストはネロチェインよりジェイク・ストラスキー様よりご登壇いただきます。So our panelists will be Mr. Jake Slarsky from NERO Chain. So let's welcome him with a big round of applause. Jake さんよろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know it's a little hectic in here, but I appreciate everyone listening. I'm Jake from NERO Chain, the CEO and co-founder. We have always been strong supporters of CoinPost and everything they do, so we're very happy to always be here at WebX, always supporting CoinPost and all of their efforts. So thank you to CoinPost and the CoinPost team. I'll tell you a little bit briefly about what we are working on at NERO Chain, and the title of this presentation is Rewriting Blockchain Economics. What that means is we really want to give back the ownership to the application developers. So you know, have value captured where it's deserved in the transaction supply chain. So problem with Web3 economic design. Some of you may be familiar with this this diagram. This diagram is kind of shows the fatness versus the skinniness of the application layer and the protocol layer. So in the web, the traditional web, we have very, very fat application layers where most of the value captured, most of every dollar that's spent in the web is captured by applications or some kind of application, and the protocol captures a very, very small amount of it. Think, you know, AWS, Google Cloud, TCP/IP servers. Think here, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Shopify, everything else is in this side. The problem is that blockchains have generally been designed like this, so an inverted value capture type of framework. But history tells us this is wrong, and that only leaving this much room for the applications to capture is just a bad business precedent to set. But blockchains keep being built in a way that value capture is sort of segmented in this form. So why are Web3 applications not rewarded? Just a quick walkthrough of the flow. The users are usually brought by the applications. They create transactions on the chain. The chain does the job of building blocks. Sometimes there is this process of reordering transactions and MEV and leakage and all of this stuff. All of it comes down to kind of bad economic alignment with the application developers. Value kind of flows away from them rather than back towards the application owners. So a couple of historical examples you can just see here in this tweet. This kind of identified a lot of different, say, killer apps or different use cases on the blockchain that have decided to build their own blockchain instead of choosing somebody else's protocol to join. A couple of the key migrations that we've seen in the last 5 years that were really important were Axie Infinity, as well as DYDX, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and Uniswap building their own Unichain. So all of these applications, these killer applications, started on one protocol, but had to leave when the incentives didn't match their success. So they brought in a bunch of success to the protocol that they were on, brought in a lot of fees, brought in a lot of users, but more often than not, their token was not supported by these ecosystems and sort of was left out of the economic hierarchy. So the risk of choosing the wrong chain, this is a quick look at the market share of different perpetual protocols. So this was DYDX for its history up until it decided to leave Ethereum, which is right here. And you can see that when they decided to build their own app chain, the users unfortunately did not come with them. So this misalignment that existed kind of between DYDX and Ethereum here led to this decision to choose a new chain. which led to their market share disappearing because they just didn't follow. The stacks are very different, the workflows are very different, and very unfortunate here. So what's the driver behind this disparity? I'll talk about this briefly. If we think about application tokens and protocol tokens as like currency denominations for commodities, and if we want to use that analogy, protocols force application users to use the protocol's own token to pay for the usage. Sort of similar to how the US makes other countries or forces other countries to denominate oil trade in the US dollars, also known as the petrodollar. Why is this important? Because it necessarily creates demand for the currency that is denominating the commodity, and creates sort of a headwind for the commodity for the currency that swaps. So, for instance, if you have to buy dollars with yen in order to buy petroleum, that means that necessarily the yen is going down in value against the dollar in that trade. So, if we think about this in the framework of Web3. The key difference is that there's lots and lots of block space. There's lots and lots of open sort of open room on different blockchains that can confirm lots and lots of transactions. Meanwhile, there's only two real oil markets. So the difference in trying to be, let's just say, greedy when it comes to how the commodity of block space is priced is very, very, I guess, misaligned here, because there's lots and lots of options instead of only two oil markets. So when the dApp token isn't being used in processing the transactions, it's significantly devalued based on the lack of utility and the lack of demand for it. So this is kind of the explanation of why this disparity happens. So how do we solve this? Status quo, all of these problems that I kind of highlighted here are what we describe as kind of Blockspace 1.0. Value is captured by the protocol, not the applications. Very rigid, misaligned. Economics don't work. The economics are broken. We envision something new called Blockspace 2.0, where the value is captured much more by the applications than they currently are on blockchains today. Highly flexible, highly aligned, win-win all the way around. Application tokens get demand, everyone's happy. So NERO, we're the first blockchain designed for economic alignment. Token utility for application tokens to solve the problem we were just describing. This one's a little bit more nuanced. This is fair price discovery. What we mean by that is that we allow this commodity of block space to be priced not just like a forced kind of linear rigid system. We can allow for this kind of first price discovery to happen on the blockchain, to let people kind of figure out what they're willing to pay for blockchain transactions when it can be denominated in something other than a protocol's token. And then there's some interesting security implications that come from it, but I'll skip that one for now. This is a simulation that we've done of what would have happened if Uniswap, for example, which is a little bit cherry picking because they've generated tons and tons of transaction volume and fees. However, sort of nonetheless, very important to identify that on a model like NERO's, the Uniswap token, if being used as the underlying currency to confirm transactions, was the case during its entire lifetime, you would have seen a much greater performance in the Uni token compared to where it is today. All of the Uni token holders would be very happy. The foundation would be happy. They'd have more budget to do more growth and build their application. But unfortunately, a lot of the demand from the fees went to the Ethereum protocol, thus leading to this need for, or this kind of internal need for the Uniswap team to think they have to build their own chain called Unichain. What we want to do is kind of prevent this misalignment, prevent this dynamic from ever happening again on any EVM chain. So here's our vision. Simply put, that first diagram that I showed with the protocol and application layers, so we want to make the Web3 application layer much fatter than it is today on all EVM chains. So we want to reshape the Web3 industry by building an application-first ecosystem. I guess ecosystem's not a great word there. We want an application-first system that allows all of the fee markets to be controlled locally by at the point of sale. So let the applications control everything about the point of sale and the fees. So just kind of skipping forward to here, this is the vision that we're looking forward to. It's just something that has a much fatter application layer than is currently exists in Web3. So, this is just so I kind of hate these comparison charts, just to be honest, but what we do differently, just kind of cut to the chase, is fee sharing, developer experience, gas flexibility is something that no other chain does. So this is just a kind of like quick share the market slide. I don't know if this slide's actually going to work, but okay, it does. So something that's interesting, a little bit of a divergence here, but I really like this stat because it says this is ARK Invest. This isn't my research, but this is ARK Invest. It says by 2030, 65% of all people will have some form of digital wallet. There's another estimate from another researcher that says there's only about 3% penetration into the digital wallet. People have digital wallets at the moment, which is crazy because this means that like every single day between now until 2030, multiple millions of new users need to be onboarded to catch up to this. So that's the opportunity. It's not going to happen linearly. It's probably going to happen non-linearly, but people are going to be moving towards digital wallets and digital systems, and we think that there's just a huge market to make them much simpler through things like social login. These are things that our account abstraction stack enable that are kind of secondary benefits to this kind of blockchain economics that we're rewriting. Other interesting market stats, huge markets in annual fees for smart contracts, that type of thing, and there's going to be a lot of tokenization. I think everyone realizes that the cat's out of the bag. There's going to be tokenization in all industries. That's just a given. So here's just a quick demo. This is not sped up. This is just real life processing. But this is shows you that like on NERO, given our stack, there can be essentially an experience that doesn't have any wallet pop-ups. There's no prompts. There's no signature requests. This is a company that built basically a crop registry on top of NERO, just showing you how you don't even notice that the blockchain exists. So there's a wallet here, this kind of in-browser wallet that's a NERO wallet NPM that can basically be put on any website. And this is something that we're excited about, is like sort of making blockchains invisible to new users. I'll just kind of briefly go over this. This is the technical back end of what it looks like. This is just a super flexible paymaster API that lets all of the applications just control in real time what the end user sees on their website front end in terms of fees, if any at all. So this thing can do cool things like temporary or like gas sponsorship for certain periods of time, promotional things. It can, you can accept your friend's token as gas payment if you want. You can accept nothing. You can just use NERO. You can use whatever you want. You can create a token tomorrow and start accepting it, the same day as gas payment. So just kind of wrap it all up. This is the flywheel that we like to think about with rewriting blockchain economics, which is having every application run its own paymaster. They can set all of the rules themselves. This means new buyers for their token. If you recall that Uniswap graph that I showed you, up and to the right versus flat and dead. This is the demand that we want to give to application tokens. That's a new revenue stream. Their treasury grows when their token grows. They're happy. They stay with us. We don't have the problem of killer applications leaving NERO because we treated them better than any other blockchain did economically. So this is what we're looking forward to. More usage, more demands, feedback all the way through. So just to wrap it all up, allowing any token to power any blockchain and really putting the control and the pricing power and the ownership of the transaction supply chain back into the application. So that's what we're building. Thank you for your time, and stay in touch. Reach out to me if you'd like, and I'll be around. We'll be in the booth over there. Come get some amazing swag and merch. We've got lots of it. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now we'll be taking a photo. We'll be doing a photo shoot. So stand at center. Yeah, right over there. Oh, no. All right, thank you so much for your pitch. ありがとうございました。